Hi everyone! Welcome to the world of mathematics, building quantitative thinking skills. My name is Joyce Kim. I'll be your instructor for teaching the course. We will be focusing on high school math courses, general mathematics, functions, advanced function, data management, and algebra. So, my name is Joyce Kim. I am the graduate of Actuarial Science Co-op program from the University of Waterloo, one of the prestigious school in North America here, and I am a formal bankruptcy analyst at the government of Canada. So here's a bit of a profile of myself, and we will introduce you what you're going to be doing in our next slide. So first, I'll read you a quote by Albert Einstein. "Do not worry about your difficulties with mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater." So even the legendary mathematician or scientist have mentioned those difficulties. So he also struggled coming up with the solutions of many problems that he would have tried to solve. Also, there is a quotation by Stephen Hawking, the guy who recently passed away, who discovered the secret of the universe. So he's simply talking about the problem solving, an equation involving mathematics. So while physics and mathematics may tell us how the universe began, they are not much use in predicting human behavior because there are far too many equations to solve. I'm no better than anyone else at understanding what makes people tick, particularly women. Yes, he admits some of the humanly factors where we cannot formalize, just like mathematics or science. So there's a bit of a humor in quotation of influencers in the world. Next slide. Goals, the learning goals. So here's the deal. By the end of this week or throughout the course, you will learn mathematical terminologies that are taught in North America in English language. So stuff like arithmetic, algebra, functions, geometric, probability, statistics, finance, etc. Secondly, you will be able to recognize mathematics in our daily lives, such as budgeting, financial planning, calculating probability, etc. For example, finding total cost given quantity, recognizing variables and patterns in functions. Thirdly, you will gain extended knowledge in financial industry and those concepts on various mathematics used in the field of investment, loans, risk management, data management. So at the end of the first session and throughout the course, you will gain basic knowledge, as I mentioned to you earlier, mathematical terms and expectation of the course that are being taught in North America. You're also going to learn how mathematics and its formulas connect so closely in our lives through the series of mathematics courses. Also, I'm going to give you small tasks, not to overwhelm you, but for you to be able to apply the knowledge. So things like on our first session, I'm going to ask you to present a 5-minute presentation and write 300-word essay in English on do people need to build quantitative thinking skills. So there will be a bit of a discussion and brainstorming going on during your first session. So first, we're going to begin with general concepts and definitions. But even before, we're going to have some small talk to break the ice. So I'll be asking you questions like, were you good at math? Or were you ever forced to work on math problems by your teacher or by your parents? Or was there any peer pressure? Why do middle and high school teach math? And why do people give up on math? Do you need math after you become an adult? And do you think you have a quantitative thinking mindset? Or do you feel the need to develop it? Hey, we're gonna have some fun time. So by definition, quantitative reasoning, QR, is the application of basic mathematics skills such as algebra to the analysis and interpretation of blah, 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 blah. So basically, it's an application of basic mathematics skills. And it's going to be used in many fields. So don't worry about the rest of the details. I'm going to take care of you throughout the course. All right. But learning a few definitions would help you, lightening up your burden a little. So the words like quantitative, it's just basically think it's number related. It's an adjective. Reasoning. So it's the action of thinking about something in a logical, sensible way. It's a noun. Discipline means to train. Interdisciplinary, it can be noun or adjective. It's relating to more than one branch of knowledge. So maybe, for example, science and math can be associated with one another. So we're learning some concepts on functions. It can be applied in science. We're using math in science, or vice versa. Next one, hypothesis. A proposal made on the basis of limited evidence as a starting point for further investigation. Don't worry, it means just generating a question. So maybe we will test it if it's true or not. So when we say hypothesis, we set up a proposal to find the evidence. Okay? We will elaborate more. Okay? It's a lot to do. It's a lot to cover in one day, I know. Compute. We will use it often. It's a verb. It means to calculate. And everyone's favorite word, solve. It's all there to solve a problem. Okay? It's not as it sounds, but it could be a simple solution at the end of the day after the complex problems. So, I mean, let's get rid of all the biases and just start clean. So we will find an answer, explanation for, and we will find a pattern, then we can set a formula. So it's a mathematical relationship or rule expressed in symbols. So more here, we're going to talk about subjects in mathematics. There is an arithmetic component, which involves calculation and counting. There's an algebra, which involves formalizing, setting variables, x and y's and z's, and solving for them. Geometry, measuring shapes, angles, like triangles. What are their degrees? Acute, those angles. Statistics, data mining, data analysis and interpretation. And probability, using probability, we find out what is the chance of something happening so that we can predict also, and then based on the probability, we can do some risk managing. Finance involves budgeting, accounting, banking, loans, investment strategy, and much more. So it's only a tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's gonna be a lot more sides to all these different subject areas, and they're gonna be exciting and interesting. So of course we are going to cover more terms in mathematics, as you may already be familiar. Things like minus, plus, divided by, multiply by, decimals, prime numbers, composite numbers, powers, roots, fractions, so on and so on. And there are some more terms in data management, things like average, mean, integers, multiples, median, range, mode, variance, and standard deviation, and much more. Okay, let me introduce you some questions that we will be doing. It says handout, but we are doing everything electronically. So firstly, as I mentioned, data management, we're going to learn how to find probability. So there are different types of probability, some theories, some subjective. For example, we could find probability of rolling a 6 on a regular 6-sided die, as it's shown in the picture. How many sides are there in a cube? 6. So probability of getting 6 on a regular 6-sided die would be 1 out of 6. Or we can express it as 16.67%. So this is just one of the examples. Of course, it's going to get more challenging and exciting, so don't worry if this is too easy for you. Or if not, then I'm going to take step-by-step approach and going to explain all the logics associated in between steps, so it's going to connect and make more sense to you. Well, I'm going to show you a variety of courses here listed on the e-learning Ontario, for instance. So we can maybe go through mathematics or work and everyday life. So I'm going to do a mix and match for you depending on your need and interest. So for instance, finding a vehicle, for instance. So we're gonna look at how fuel cost works. So it really gets you there to perform during your everyday life. There are many problems, many mathematical problems that we encounter each day. So we're going to go through the fuel consumption and the data associated, and we're going to perform some mathematical calculation after covering some of the terminologies. Okay, a lot to calculate and compute. Okay. So if you have any question, please make sure to ask me at the end of the presentation during our lesson. And of course, we're going to go through a lot of mathematical formulas as well. Okay, so for today's session, it's only an introductory, but there was a lot as you followed me. So are you starting to see why quantitative thinking skills are practically needed in our daily lives? Don't forget your assignment, a presentation, and the essay. So I'm really going to ask you to come up with your ideas with the logic and example, and I really would love to communicate with you. And I really want to talk about or discuss importance of developing your quantitative reasoning skills, not just doing calculations, but I really want you to be able to explain each step that's involved to solve the problems. It could be daily problems or the world problems, but at the end of the day, math is going to help the humanity solving many problems. Or maybe it can serve you everyday functions. Thanks for your attention. So welcome to the course. I'll see you next time. And I'll be designing your course, and always feel free to comment or suggest anything if you feel that it's going to help you to develop your journey. Okay? Well, got any question? Then you can also reach the Academy. And I look forward to see you again very soon. Bye-bye.